So I picked up a mission to put a satellite in orbit of the moon and was ready to launch my craft, and KSP crashed and it actually had to apply an update. So maybe that update was pushed out to fix whatever that crashing issue was. So I'll just go ahead and load up the satellite I had. It was called something unoriginal, like Mooncom. There we go. So original. There we go. So my contract was to position a satellite in orbit of the moon, and I had to kind of retrofit one of my previous satellites to work with the contract. It needed to have a materials bay, which we have right here. It also needed to have some mystery goo, which I added, and it needed antenna and to generate power, which was already there, since that's what pretty much every satellite needs to do. Went over the craft a little bit. It's just a basic launcher here. We're using pretty much any part you can use after the first 2 or 3 tiers of tech. So we have the Reliant liquid fuel engine, the swivel in the middle, so I can have a little more control since it's gimbaled. And these have a fuel line leading into the middle section, so as these burn, we'll use these tanks first. It'll be feeding into the middle section here. Once these are done, I'll be able to cut this dead weight off. Then I'll burn for a little while, move up to about my orbital height. This one will get me just about there, but not quite. This one will finish it off and circularize us, as well as push us off to the moon. And this section here with the Terrier will kind of do the micro adjustments we'll need around the moon. So that's the plan for Mooncom 1.0. So we're ready to rock. Let's launch. And crossing fingers that KSP will let us launch. Alright, so we got a nice day. Nice and sunny out here. It always is. Take a look at, where we're going. We're going to the moon. We'll set it as a target. Didn't really need to do that yet, but might as well. So we're ready to rock. We've got 1.94 thrust to weight ratio. So I'm going to keep us at about 3/4 of our throttle, just so we're not out of here too hot. I want to keep a nice gradual lift off without gaining too much speed at once. So we're ready to launch. Let's do it. SAS on. Here we go. So we're trying to get to 100 meters per second here. Once we hit about 100 meters per second, I'm going to slowly start to get our gravity turn going. This is really small adjustments here. Just hitting the D key over to 90 degrees just a few times. So let's get the gravity turn started. So just about 10 degrees, want to hit it onto the notch, 10 degrees from the center. I brought down the throttle a little bit just so we're not gaining too much speed. Got the gravity turn started, and when you're moving around during launch, you don't really want to go outside of your prograde until you ditch most of this atmosphere. Once you're into the darker blue atmosphere, if you go too far outside of this, you'll most likely flip over. Bad stuff is going to happen. You don't want to French fry when you should have pizza. So here we go. We're flipping over a little bit. You can see our first stage is wearing out. Staying within prograde while gently moving over. Nothing too serious, nothing too aggressive. We want a nice controlled burn out of here. So we're losing our first stage. I want to up my throttle since we lost some thrust. So we will keep our gravity turn moving. We've already escaped most of the bad atmosphere, so we can, be a little bit more liberal in our turns here. We can turn it over horizontal a little bit faster. And so we're keeping an eye on our time to apoapse, which is, gotten really high. I mean, you don't really want to get below 30 seconds to your time to apoapse. Means you're, not gaining as much speed, not getting as much height as you need to get into orbit. So since we've ditched most of the atmosphere, we can keep, we can get a little more aggressive with this. Start gaining a lot of speed, a lot of orbital speed. So I hit it right about to the horizon there. You don't want to do a maneuver like that when you're in this level of atmosphere. If you did something like that there, you'd be screwed. So we have a good apoapse here. This is a good launch. Alright, so we're looking to get our apoapse to about in between 90 and 100 kilometers. That's, a safe distance out of the atmosphere. Once we hit that, we can, circularize our burn, and once we do that, we're in a nice stable orbit, and we can kind of make any maneuver we want from there. And in this case, we are trying to get to the moon. Looks like I need a stage. See you later. Alright, enough dicking around. Fire. So I think we're going to have enough delta V to get to the moon. We don't need to get back or anything. We're just going to plant a satellite in orbit, so we don't need a ton of delta V to get out there. Some of the biggest mistakes that newer players will do is they'll kind of overbuild their rockets and bring a lot more fuel, and it complicates things. You don't want to get too aggressive. Alright, let's go ahead and add maneuver here. So we've got our apoapse to about where we want it. We just want to circularize here and bring it in. Perfect, that's circularized. Alright, we are set up on our maneuver. Once we're set up on our maneuver, go ahead and save. We've reached this point. We should be happy that we're here and we're alive, so let's save. And then we'll time warp. This is about 305 meters per second burn. This shouldn't be too bad. You want to bring it so you can see our estimated burn's about 23 seconds. We'll look for the halfway mark of that, so we'll probably burn around 11, 12 seconds, somewhere between there. 11 and a half seconds. It doesn't give me decimals though. Burn. $150 meters per second. Alright, 12 meters per second left. If we want to get really nitpicky here, we can kind of follow that maneuver node. 3, 2, there we go. Great orbit. So there we circularize it, pretty good. And there's our moon. So, we probably could have, just launched out and caught that. It's going to be a little bit more careful here. I didn't mean to do that. Set as target. So here, actually clicking on that space station, I might add our maneuver to kind of catch up with the moon here. This might be a little soon. There we go. Maybe something like that. Maybe that's too much. So this one will get us to about, oh look at that, 10,000 meters. Let's take a look at our contract. And let's take a look at our, get out of here, Kerbal Engineer. It says ApoApps of 560, so we don't need to get that low. We are aiming for around 108, 236, 500,000. Aiming for 500,000. Yeah. And then we can make our micro adjustments from there. So this looks like it's going to take us polar. It looked like that might track kind of similar to... Man, I have no idea. Yeah, I just want to get into orbit of it and make my adjustments for there. If I was a little more, you know, pre-planning, I might... I could always check here. It should show it to me, right? On this map. I don't know why it's not showing me the orbit I need to get into. You know why? Because that's not the moon. This is the moon. Focus view. So it is, yeah, it's an equatorial. And that's actually showing me where my periapse is coming in. That is, wow. That's impressive, squad, to set that up for me. I did not think that they would give me that information here. That might even be a bug. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep that maneuver node. Looks too good to be true, but I'm gonna take that. So we have a minute 3. It's going to take 850 meters per second of delta V to get there. We have about 1,000 meters per second here. So this one stage will get us out there and even allow us to slow us down to get us in orbit. So I'm feeling comfortable about our fuel supply. Alright, it's time to time warp, and I'm gonna do a manual time warp here. There's a lot going on that map. I don't really want to click on it anymore. Just going at 50 times speed. Five minutes, 4 minutes, 3, 2, so we're looking for about 31, 32 seconds. It's slowed down too much too soon. I actually need to fix my maneuvers here. Alright, slow us down. Time warp. So 32 seconds will give a full burn. 32. So let's see what happens to... There's a lot going on in this map. And usually, so it usually shows you that moon encounter. I guess it shows you when you hover over it now. But it used to just only show you, I thought. I never even tried to do that focus view, but that's really cool. You can actually see how your launch profile is going to, or not your launch profile, just kind of your trajectory is going to be around the moon. It's nice. So keeping an eye on. I did set my focus view there though. Keeping an eye on my delta V. It's starting to skip about 30 seconds. Cut it here. Do a micro adjustment really quick. Push it over to the maneuver node just to get us right. Last little touches. A little bit of thrust, a little bit. And I think I'm going to take that. Yep, because it's going down. I don't want to get any lower than that. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that. So now, I need to get my bearings. Alright, so let's go ahead and warp here. We're going to be leaving. See ya, Kerbal. So we're on our way out to the moon. And I'm just going to time warp until we get all the way there. I think it does handily slow you down a little bit. That's cool though. Alright, so we made it. We made it. So let's focus on the moon here. And let's focus on making our maneuver node to get in orbit of Earth. And we actually, since we're dealing with less, gravity of Earth around here, we've got a little bit more freedom to alter our maneuver nodes a little bit. And we don't have to be as careful. And I might just work to get my apoaps in the right spot, and then I might be getting too aggressive here. I'm actually just really looking for an intersect, like with the periaps. Yeah, I think I can make a maneuver node here work and really tip the balance. It's really important just to get on that plane, get an intersect with the plane of it. You can make another move from there. So I'm going to keep that. We've got a couple intersects with the plane here. I'm going to do a quick save and start getting some. I'm going to head to the maneuver node and then start the time warp. So 258, I might have to stage for this section though. Slow us down. Slow down craft. There we go. Alright, right in the middle. And let's time warp. And I'm actually going to just use this handy feature. So this is going to capture us here. We're going to be orbiting the moon. And I look to get an intersect here with the plane, and once I have a nice intersect there, I will go ahead and overshot it a little bit. Here's starting the burn. Once I have the intersect there, I can set a maneuver there, and we can get ourselves back on track. Get ourselves into the correct orbit, do our inclination adjustments, or prograde retro, do all the good stuff. I feel like I'm just saying things now. Oh, I forgot I needed a stage. Oh, fuck. That's why you save. I just staged twice. There it goes. Fuck! Yeah! Oh, it saved my maneuver node. That's why you save it. Alright. So it saved my maneuver node. We know that we're launching at about 7 seconds. So we'll get back over the maneuver node. I'm going to go ahead and set that as the next stage. That was a screw up. Man, you don't get do-overs in the real world. That was a horrible staging effort. Alright. We're locked in, and let's time warp. I'm going to use this handy time warp feature again. Alright, then we're manually time warping down to about 7 seconds. Alright, 17, 16, 15, remember, yeah, 258 meters per second, we're going to need a stage here. So I'm just going to keep it in this mode until we stage, and then I'll switch over to the map view. Man, I don't need a repeat of last time. And it's out. There we go. Wow, that hit quick. And let's finish it off. Alright. Perfect. So we finished it off, and let's see, we're moving this way. Let's make our move right on this line, and we're going to need to shift it over and change the inclination. Maybe a little too much shift. I don't even shift. Yep. And a little more juice. Little more juice. Too much juice. I think I'm going to do that. I think that's going to work. Let's do a save again in case I stage like a fool again. And into our maneuver node. And hold. And now we can fast forward. And maneuver node. Let's go ahead and warp here. And let's go ahead and manually warp. So 25 meters per second. Man, I think this is a pretty delicate burn. 25 meters per second. When I launched that other engine, that thing was moving this quick. Alright, so what I'm going to do, just so I don't overshoot this, I'm going to limit our thrust, let's say 50%. 50% power in the engine, just so I don't overshoot this very delicate maneuver. 25 meters per second. It's very delicate, and we need this spot on. So 10 seconds until burn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, burn. 14. Cut. Micro adjustment. In. Micro adjustment. Alright. Put us right on there, huh? Huh? Maybe I'm slightly off. I do. The problem is these two are pretty similar colors. I'm gonna hit this descending node. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. Our orbit specifics. Maybe I'm too visual right now. Apoapse of 561. No, I'm 562. I'm a little high. And periapse of 548. So that's right. Maybe do I just need to bring Perry down a little bit? Or bring Apoapse 562. I need 561, 351. $561. $561. $561. 351. I'm just gonna go for that and see if that gets me longitude of ascending. You know what? I might be going around the wrong way. I might be going around the longitude of descending. So let's see if I switch to this one. Oh, probably don't have. Oh man, I think I think I'm moving in the wrong direction. Oh, come on, let me select it again. Oh, there it was. There we go. So that could be the issue. So Harry Apps was good, 548 essentially. I mean, 561. You know, I could just be going in the wrong direction. So I'm just going to try. I'm just going to do that one. I'm just going to burn retro a little bit. Oh, way too much. Ah! 561, 548. So go back pro. Oh, man. 548. Yeah, that's the Perry Apps is good. The Apple Apps needs 561. And so let's go pro grade. Slow burn. 561. So that might be it. You know what? I might be. I think that might be what the longitude of ascending. I think that's what I needed. Oh well. Well, it looks like. I mean, there's nothing I can really do about that. You know, I can't. There's no way I have enough delta V to. You know, to change the direction of my orbit. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do about that. But oh well, sometimes the missions don't go right. I now have another satellite here. It didn't get me a mission, but you know, maybe one day it'll be helpful in the future. But other than that, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for watching. Maybe you learned something. You learned to, you know, check the notes in the orbit specifics before launching your satellite into orbit. That's what I learned today. So I hope you learned something. Alright, thanks for watching.